Okay, say if I want to do a user interface as the first step. So I'm gonna define a function called display UI. Okay, so this is the first function, and then well, in this function I can print and then I'm gonna do it like this, and another print, say welcome to my system. And after that, I may want to have another print and say some instructions about how to use this system, and then and then do another print, say blah blah, and eventually I want to just copy this line because this will be served as a header. Okay, so well, just using this part of the function, and then I'm gonna I can display a welcome information to the user. And okay, so if I'm not doing anything else, and then I can just do a display UI function cal, and if I run this, okay, so now I have finished the first part of a logic of creating a interactive interface, well, of a system. Okay, and then if I want to do something else, say, well, I want to take the user's temperature, for example, say def take temperature, and then there's nothing to call here, and well, and in this part I want to do a user input equals input give me your temperature. Okay, and then after that I want to cast that into a float number, because whatever user type from the keyboard, and that will be a string. So I'm going to do user input float equals float, and then user input, and then I'm going to do a return, because I'm going to return the user temperature as a return value. So I'm returning the user input float. Okay, so this is another part that I want to ask the user what's your temperature, and then I want to record that, cast it into a float number, and eventually I want to return that. Okay, so if I want to do another function call here, and then what I can do is, if I run this part of the code, the first thing, well, this is the first function call and display the UI, and then the UI is displayed. And then the second part, I want to take the temperature, so I'm stop right here. Okay, say I'm gonna give a temperature of 103, and if I have this temperature, and right now I should be worried about that. Okay, so after that nothing happens because I'm not processing this information yet. So I'm gonna just do the user temperature equals the take temperature. Okay, and after that I want to have another function called diagnosis, df diagnosis, and then, well, in this function I want to take the input temperature, and then I want to return whether this person should be quarantined or not. Okay, so then what the logic should be, if, well, I'm just gonna set a line, say if the temperature is higher than 100 degree, and then I'm going to put this person into the quarantine. So if input temperature is greater than 100, and then well, and then put to isolated room equals true. True. And otherwise, well, I can say else, and then put to isolated room equals false. And eventually I want to return this put to isolated room. Okay, so I'm just for this function, I'm taking temperature, and based on whether this temperature is greater than 100 or not, and I'm deciding whether this person should be in quarantine or not. Okay, and then I haven't made a function call yet, so I'm gonna make the function call, say diagnosis, and then user's temperature, and will be my decision, right? So my decision is based on this function cal, and this function cal will give me either a true, which means this person should be quarantined, or a false, which means this person is safe. And eventually, what I want to do is if decision equals true, and then I'm gonna say a print this person should be put into an isolated room. Otherwise, I'm gonna say else print this person is safe to come to campus. Okay, so this is my program. So I'm making a very small toy diagnosis system. So there are three major parts. So this part, I'm displaying the user interface, and this is the welcome page, and I'm giving the user some of the instructions. And after that, the second part, I want to take the user's input. So the user will give me input, and then this function will process that and cut it into a float value and return the float value as the user's temperature. So after we have the user's temperature here, and the next part, I want to do a diagnosis. For diagnosis, the decision will be either a true or false. A true means this person should be quarantined, and then the false means this person is safe and this person can come to campus. Okay, so why I'm showing you this example, let's come back to our lecture note. So on our lecture notes, we talk about the procedure decomposition. So for this toy project, and you may find that there are multiple steps. We display the welcome page, we take the user's input, and then we process the user input, and then we make a decision. So there are multiple parts, and how do we decompose that decompose a big project into a smaller project? And for this part, using functions can be really useful. Say, for this one, what I have, this is the major body of the code, right? So, all the code above are just the function definitions. So, in this part, I can easily decompose this project into 4 pieces. So the first piece, display the UI. The second piece, interact with the user and get the user input. And then the third part, we make the decision. And all the first 3 parts, they are function calls. And after that, the final part, I'm just making output based on the decision. And can this be function cal? Yes, this can also be a function cal. And I didn't bother to make it function cal. But anyhow, this is the process that we can make use of functions and to design a big project and decompose that into several smaller pieces. And in addition, if you are collaborating with other people, and then I can say, okay, so for person 1, you take care of this function, and person 2, you can take care of this function, and me myself, I'm gonna write the function which is gonna make the decision based on the temperature. So for this part, I can collaborate with other people too. So that's the cool thing about the function. There are 2 things we talk about. The number 1 is code reuse. We don't have to copy the same piece of the code to multiple places. And number 2, we can use function as a tool to decompose some of the bigger projects. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video here, and I will see you in the next video.